this is basically what the Ark of the Covenant was. Alright, this is the details. Okay, so this is a thermoelectric generator, okay? Now, if you use radium and it has an open arc, then you're going to have literally an arc. And it's pretty much an infinite arc because you're using radium. I mean, it's nuclear. You're going to get you a nuclear arc, more or less. Instead of like a cigarette lighter, it's an arc light just like a cigarette lighter or a spark plug. And it's similar exactly in nature to a spark plug, the way it's used and the way it is puts into the device that it's running it. But inside the king's chamber, this is reversed. The heat is up here. That way, whenever this arcs, it feeds itself. The heat from itself will help generate energy along with this radium. So you're getting a nuclear arc and you're basically getting a plasma arc here, you know, like a nucleoplasma arc. Okay, and inside the sarcophagi is wherever some water or something that cools it would sit, where this is the potential difference for the cooling. Okay. Okay, this right here, this is actually a hieroglyph. Now this is the beginning, this is alpha, and this is the end, omega, more or less. All right, this is a ground, this is the hot. Okay, this is a it's a hieroglyph, but I can't remember where it's at. Petra or Luxor. It's one of these places. If you know anything about hieroglyphs or if you've looked them up, you can find this, okay? Ironically, it fits with this right here, which happens to be also in a lot of hieroglyphs, except for these. Now, I've put these up here as the cathode and anodes. But this is actually, I'm sure a lot of people have seen this, and it's usually involved with the Sphinx. There's a big one under the Sphinx, supposedly. All right, which I don't doubt at all. And the Sphinx itself is a heat sink. Okay, the Sphinx itself is actually a heat sink. This is a thermoelectric generator. Ironically, I looked up thermoelectric generators, and here's a heat sink because they're, you know, like I was saying on that video, they're like backwards compatible. You can use thermoelectric generators with PCs. Okay, and that's why this is basically like a giant computer thermoelectric generator, and that's why motherboards are always designed after them. And plus, they're called MicroStar. You know, that's a brand of motherboard. And BioStar, which is inside us, our BioStar with the Alpha and Omega, because these, you know, like I was saying, points towards Alpha Draconis and Beta Ursa Minor and the North. And anyway, I'm gonna digress. But anyway, it's using semiconductors. All right. Now here's what they're going to use for the P-type and N-type. Okay, on this, you got the P-type and N-type material, right? Well, your lithium is going to be your P-type. Your fluorine is going to be your N-type. You got a potential difference here of 3.0, all right? Because lithium has such a lower electronegativity. It has more of a positive charge to it. And fluorine is actually the most electronegative element on the periodic table, okay? And of course, it's gold and its catalytic properties, along with its electrical properties, and your carbon, all right? From its electrical properties and its insulation, you know, its properties, the conducting properties, you have a precision resistance here of 0.01, okay? So you have your negative factor, your potential difference of 3.0. You have your precision resistance of 0.01, which is our 0.01 resistance, precision resistance, and then you have your 0.08 thermoelectric equilibrium. This is your positive, this is your negative, this is your resistance, okay? And that's just a solid state conductance, semiconductor, or superconductor, technically. It's a superconductor. And if you touch it, it's a live circuit, okay? So once you touch it, it can literally electrocute you to death, okay? And that's why you was smitten if you touched it, you know? Plus, you literally couldn't look at it or it'd blind you, unless you had a welder's cap. Because if you look at a plasma torch, you know, if you're arcing or you have a MIG welder or something like that, and you don't wear, you know, your shielding, you can get flash burn, you know? So, and plus the radium in it, obviously, you know, had the, you know, make people's hair and fingernails and stuff fall out. Let's see. There's another one. This one, more of what it was in the king's chamber. This is the cold side, this is the hot side. The arc itself, though, the cathode anode would run up here and keep it alive. Its own heat, its own arc would literally keep it sustained. And if you're feeding ionized hydrogen in through here, you can literally create a gas discharge lamp. And that's pretty much what this was at the same time. It was a thermoelectric generator, a transmitter, and a receiver. Okay? And it had all the same parts, all the same components. Plus it was a pyramid socket 9131, like a socket CPU. So, you know, there's this, just this theory. I mean, look, my videos aren't fancy, alright? But they tell a lot different stuff than most of these videos on YouTube that are real fancy. Okay? Yeah, my quality sucks, but my information's worth a lot more than the quality of the video. And I mean, their quality of their videos. Let's see more thermoelectric generators. This is what they look like. And ironically, they look like Stonehenge, similarly. And it's plus in a circle, just like everything, like electric motors and stuff like that. I mean, I think that literally they were it was a monument to something, you know. That's what Stonehenge was, a monument to something. Imagine you got this right here, one 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 right here. I mean, that'd be like Stonehenge, you know what I'm saying? Look like Sacsayhuaman here. You cannot tell me this was not some type of motherboard, okay, some star generator. I've been studying this right here, and ironically, it's, you know, the nuclear alpha and the electric omega. And there's two here. That'd be the helium. That'd be a helium atom if he's looking at it. It'd actually be a helium atom. And then I'm trying to think of the electrons here configured. You know, that's basically the consensus of how this worked. You know, you don't have to believe me. That's just what I'm theorizing from everything that I've discovered from on my own little, with this little theory or whatever. But I mean, I think it fits pretty good. And I mean, it looks like a motherboard too, you know. It's just weird. So just specifically, I'm going to explain just a quick, what a quick cold fusion generator would be like, pretty much. Alright, so you need your gravity, alright, in a unified field you need your gravity. So you'd have a centripetal force, basically. You want it to spin, kind of like the gravitron, but you want centripetal. So whenever it spins, you want everything to be harnessed to a focal point to the center, more or less. But that's where you want your nuclear material too. And like I was saying, I suggest radium-226. All right, it's because you want your alpha particles. That's your nuclear energy. So now you have your gravity, you have your nuclear energy, okay, and you want to fuse it. All right, so you have your weak interaction, which is going to be your electric, more or less. You're feeding it electricity, your electromagnetism, whatever. Basically, you don't have to have electromagnetism. You can, if you're going to use gravity with an electromagnetic field, and you're going to more or less compress the element, or you can spin it. I don't know why they don't spin it. It's the best option, pretty much. All right, they're going to end up creating a big bang instead of a star, you know. All right, so the electromagnetism can be substituted, and it's backwards compatible with the gravity, more or less, depending on how you're going to configure your fusion generator. But the plasma arc is more or less going to weld your alpha particles and your ionized hydrogen together. All right, so these are going to be positive, very positive. So they're going to want to repel each other. So you want to get them into a point where they can't have no choice, basically, but to be close to each other. And then you're going to send in the electrons to attack them and weld them together. And through this process, this fusion process, neutrons are going to be created, and you're going to get an allotrope or isotope of lithium. And it's going to be a reddish color. And that's basically why it was all these depictions of the Egyptians are, it's always a red colored star. It's crimson color. You know, it's like a blood red, deep shaded red, and it's because it's a lithium. It's like a micro brown dwarf in a way, brown dwarf star. Also, remember how I was saying like this points towards alpha, you know, the alpha draconis, and then one is beta ursa minor with the alpha and the beta, alpha, beta, omega. You know how they say that he ejaculated into the sky and all that crap? That's basically a misconception of the alpha in the sky. You know what I'm saying? The father in the sky, alpha draconis, the nuclear energy, the Y factor. See what I'm saying? Like, basically all of the misconceptions of all of the theories that, and all of their history, everything that we've even thought we deciphered can literally be joined together with this basic alpha, beta, omega theory. Literally. I just call it, and also alpha, beta, omega. Why do they call them, why these fraternity houses call themselves this stuff. And and when I look up at Alpha, Beta, Omega, I mean, I can't find a frat of Alpha, Beta, Omega. There's all these other ones, like Zeta, Chi, Kappa or something, you know, all this, but I can't find Alpha, Beta, Omega. And any of the Alpha, Omega itself, without the Beta, is always some kind of, you get all the Islamic mysticism and, you know, the religious stuff, and Aleister Crowley and the beast and, you know, the seagull of the beast and the stars of Astaroth, and, you know, you get all of the, what am I trying to say? Basically all those ancient religions and cultic, you know, religions and all these cultic beliefs and all of that, you know. So it's just weird how, you know, Alpha and Omega leads to all the cultic stuff. Then there's Alpha, Beta, Omega, which literally explains the existence of the universe that doesn't exist as a fraternity. And it's just weird. And then there's every other fraternity you could think of if you just mix up, you know, any of them. Most likely. And I'm going to try that. Hold on. Bam! I just typed in Kappa, Zeta, Pi, or Phi. And there it is. Let's see. Hold on. Let me try another one. Let me see. Hold on, let's see. Let's see. Beta, Chi, Zeta. Let's do that. Let's see if there's any. Oh, hold on. Well, there's Beta, Chi, Theta. Beta, Zeta, Beta, Chi, Beta, Pi. C-H-R. There's Phi, Theta, Kappa. Look, you get what I'm saying. It just seems so weird that Alpha and Omega always goes back to one of these ancient cults or some religion, and then it comes to the, you know, Alpha, Beta, Omega. There's nothing on it except for whatever it was. Fan lore. Okay, a kink trope wherein some or all people have defined biological roles based on hierarchical system, with the terms originating from animal behavior research. What the hell? Why don't they just say it derives in everything? All right, look, here's the Alpha, Beta, Omega fraternity. Let's see what this is. It's a professional Jewish dental fraternity, and the oldest and largest Alpha, Delta, Theta, Alpha, Delta, Sigma. Doesn't have much. Yeah, fan lore. Yeah, there's not really anything specific on it.